Ahead on KGW News at noon, we're learning new details about a multi-car crash that shut down Highway 30 in both directions and got a hazmat team involved. Plus,
my son is not here anymore, and it's really hard to accept that.
a Gresham mother is mourning the loss of her teen son, who was shot and killed last month, and asking the community for help. And later, people hoping to catch some salmon along the Columbia River are finding themselves up against a fierce natural rival, the sea lion. How they hope the salmon-stealing mammals stay away. Your news at noon starts right now. We begin here at noon in Northwest Portland, where a multi-car crash sent one person to the hospital. Highway 30 just south of the St. John's Bridge had been shut down in both directions after reports of a leak. Thank you for joining us here at noon. I'm China Green. Portland Fire says this happened around 6:30 this morning, involving 3 vehicles and 2 tractor trailers. One person was taken to the hospital for their injuries here. Portland Fire reports that there was a fuel leak of some kind, leading them to call in the hazmat team to help with the cleanup. ODOT is encouraging people to check their routes and plan accordingly as they continue to clean up the fuel spill. They put out an update less than an hour ago saying it could be a few more hours before Highway 30 reopens. Investigators are looking for the person who shot and killed a 13-year-old while he was sleeping this past weekend inside his Gresham apartment. Police say the boy was hit by a stray bullet in the early hours of Sunday morning after someone fired shots inside a neighboring apartment that went through a wall. The young teen there was an 8th grade student at Rowe Middle School. We talked to some of his neighbors yesterday.
I mean, something this aggressive, definitely not anything I've ever seen. I mean, we've had police over here before, but nothing like this. And my little brother is 13 years old, and if something like this were to happen to him, I'd be absolutely heartbroken.
The second person was also hit during the shooting on Sunday. They were taken to the hospital and are expected to survive. And we are also hearing from the mother of another Gresham teen who was shot and killed last month. Catherine Cook spoke with her about the case and the family's special request.
At Main City Park in Gresham,
Junior went there since kindergarten.
Sylvia Garza remembers bringing her son, Junior, to this playground.
He had the biggest heart ever.
In January, that little boy turned 17.
Birthday boy.
It would be Junior's last birthday.
My son is not here anymore, and it's really hard to accept that.
On the night of March 18th, police say someone shot and killed Junior near Southeast 136th and Stark. Sylvia says Junior had been visiting friends and was heading to his brother's house when it happened. She can't describe her loss.
Everything about him was just amazing. Like, nobody can ever compare anybody to Junior ever.
Police tell us they're actively working the case, but haven't made any arrests.
Just trying not to let his case go cold, trying to be patient at the same time, but it's hard.
Also hard, the unexpected costs of laying Junior to rest.
He is missing a headstone right now.
Sylvia organized this fundraiser for anyone willing to help her family afford a headstone, a purchase she never thought she'd have to make in a place where other parents are dealing with the same kind of grief.
I know there's a lot of cases right now that are just unanswered. Too many kids are losing their lives.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
The couple wanted in connection with a fentanyl overdose of their child is back in custody after failing to show up to their sentencing hearing. Dylon Kelly and Samantha Smith turned themselves in to Portland police last night, and today a judge denied bail for both of them. Police say the two allowed their 3-year-old son to overdose on fentanyl back in 2023 that resulted in a severe brain injury. The child is now in the custody of DHS. Both Kelly and Smith pleaded guilty in March to criminal mistreatment in the first degree, but then skipped out on the sentencing hearing earlier this month. A judge will now sentence them next week. An agency that looks after land use in the Gorge has survived being eliminated in the final version of the budget. The Columbia River Gorge Commission was originally going to be defunded, but the Friends of the Gorge advocacy group warned that that could have led to unregulated development, with commercial and residential properties taking up what's now natural space. They rallied support and started a letter writing campaign to lawmakers. In the end, the commission is still seeing a 27% budget cut, but can continue its work for at least another 2 years. Head over to Rod Hill for a look at weather. It was rainy this morning. Is it going to be rainy this afternoon?
No. The rain, which we needed. Thank goodness. Yeah, timeout from the rain. We picked up about 1/10 of an inch, which is kind of what we were hoping to get. We could use a bunch. That's what we had. The rain did fizzle, though, mainly in that 8-9 o'clock hour this morning here on the west side. As expected, and we should be dry moving forward. The question now is, are we going to get some decent sun? Here's how much rain fell. 9 100s in Portland, 13 100s in Salem, a little bit more up in Seattle where they picked up 19 100ths of an inch of rain. Here's the visible satellite picture, and if you look at this, there are off to our west and even south of Portland, down toward Woodburn, increasing breaks in cloud cover. So we are expecting to become partly cloudy. Here's the Astoria column camera, still pretty cloudy there looking over the Astoria Meckler Bridge. Here's the Reserve Painters and Golf Club. Just trying to see some breaks in the cloud cover, and that's starting to happen. It'll be a gradual process this afternoon. Downtown Portland, our temperature is 59. So once we start getting some sun breaks and become partly cloudy, which we should, we'll easily pop up to about 67. Should be mainly clear for you, believe it or not, as we get into the evening. Your complete 7-day forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Rod. Here's a look at some national headlines we're tracking for you this afternoon. Authorities in Iraq say that they have arrested a suspected ISIS member connected to that deadly New Orleans vehicle attack on New Year's Day. They say the man arrested is responsible for inciting the attack that killed 14 people and injured nearly 60 others. The suspect driving the truck was later killed in a shootout with police. And according to the FBI, both men proclaimed support for the terrorist group ISIS. Officials say that he will be tried in Iraq under the country's anti-terrorism law. A White House official has confirmed to NBC News that the Trump administration plans to ease some of tariffs for U.S. automakers. While the 25% tariff on imported vehicles and auto parts will stay in place, it won't be stacked on top of tariffs for materials such as aluminum and steel that are used to make them. Experts still expect the cost of imported cars and parts to rise with that 25% tariff in place. And consumer confidence slumped for the 5th straight month, marking the lowest levels since the beginning of the pandemic. The drop is mostly led by the impact of President Trump's wide-ranging tariffs. Nearly a third of consumers expect hiring to slow in the next few months, nearly matching the level reached in 2009. And those are a look at your national headlines. And while some of the president's tariffs are essentially on hold, some small business owners in the Northwest are already feeling ripple effects. Barb Wright owns Oodles Kids in Southeast Portland. It's a toy, baby, and gift shop. Wright says even with the tariff pause, some of her supplies have been raised on the supplies that she has. The owner of Fiber Rhythm, a yarn and knitting store, says that their shop is seeing the same thing. Both stores say that they have been forced to raise prices.
Nobody else is paying the tariffs. At the end of the day, we have to pay it, and it will be passed on to our customers. It is certainly reducing shopping, the uncertainty, so it's affecting overall sales.
Not all businesses have seen the impacts, though. For example, Northwest Seismic, a retrofitting company that mostly uses domestic steel, to see more in-depth report on this. They're not seeing any impact right here, but check out the online version of the story at KGW.com. Multnomah County District Attorney is firing back again about the county's latest budget proposal. Nathan Vasquez says some of the cuts in the proposal would deliver a serious blow to his team's fight against retail crime. As part of a $3 million budget reduction, Vasquez says that he'll be forced to cut an investigator and prosecutor assigned to retail theft. Vasquez says without them, big investigations targeting organized crime rings will have to be scaled back.
DDA Turner is routinely meeting with retailers across the metro area. She's routinely working with law enforcement to do these coordinated efforts. That stuff goes away because when we start losing funding and our ability to really fund these positions, we're looking at core services.
Multnomah County faces a $7 million budget shortfall. The county chair said that cuts are being shared across many different services. The final budget is expected to be approved in June. Law enforcement made several arrests during a mission last week to make the Max Red Line safer. Transit police and sheriff's deputies teamed up last Tuesday, focusing on the stretch between the Gateway Transit Center and the airport. They arrested 22 people, issued warnings to more than 40 riders, and banned 5 people from ever riding TriMet again. It's special election season, which means that you have until midnight tonight if you want to register to vote in Oregon's May 20th special election. In Multnomah County, a voter help center just opened on the east side to help you with that. The Voting Center Express office is in Multnomah County East Building in Gresham. They can help with voter registration issues and have both English and Spanish speaking staff. People speaking other languages will be able to access interpretation services as well. And having the center open is a huge convenience for people on the east side.
Going all the way downtown to get a replacement ballot and deal with parking and all of those things, I think this is a much better opportunity for them just to come to downtown Gresham and not have to drive all the way in.
If the Voting Center Express is open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday until the May 20th election. It's at 600 Northeast 8th Street in Gresham, and the main elections office in Portland also offers those same services.